together and give you a little demonstration on that. Show you a few of the tools that I'll be using as I put these frames together. Actually, this is a frame, and this here is my deep hive body. Cost is $20.29 plus tax. I got 4 of them, and I've got 3 bottom boards I need to paint. Those cost $22.75. And I'm going to repaint some covers. This I think costs about $38, almost $39 right now. When I was talking there, I got to thinking, one more piece and I'd have a complete hive. So I decided to get this inner cover. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different parts to the hive. These are the parts you would need to have, including 10 of these. And by the way, they cost about $3.80 a piece, so that's $38. I think Charlie wants to get into the picture. Don't you, Charlie? You want to get into the picture? Come here, Charlie. Come on up here. He wants to get into the picture, doesn't he? Yes, he does. Okay. In a few minutes, I'm going to go through all the tools we'll need to have to put these together. And we'll talk a little bit more about it too. This is the one that most people use for a honey super. It also takes 10 frames. So they all start adding up. I'm going to paint this one too while I'm at it. Okay, let's get started here. Woo! I made my bench a little higher so well, just for whatever. I didn't want to be so short. Actually, the ground's a little wonky here, so I had to work it out and put some shims under it, and I think I'm going to be all right. But let's go. Well, here, the tools we'll need: a hammer. Will I need a hammer? Maybe. Just to tap this or that. It's not a big deal. Probably don't need it. I'm going to need a cutter, a little knife here to cut the blocks apart. We just snap them. I'm going to put this down here, and we'll save these, put the trash later. So that's a couple tools. Need some gonna need some drill bits, just maybe. I don't know, probably not. We'll see. Square, that really comes in handy. Just one of these little speed squares, good. My drill motor, and some screws. These are 1 5/8 long. They're deck mate, so they're good for outdoors. And one of the reasons I bought this is because I had a bigger box and I lost a little bit. So I have to look in here and see if it's in here. I don't know. I'm sure there's one in here. It was cheaper to buy another box of screws than buy a drill bit. Or the driver, rather, the drill driver. The screwdriver part. Yeah, little golden thing here. So we'll need that. So these are like a special bit. It's not a Phillips. I kind of like Phillips because it's a lot easier to use. Glue. Gonna need that. Don't have to have it, but I like to use it. I just use that Type Bond 2 premium wood glue. Been using it for years. Then we need a can of water, just a coffee can, and a rag. That's for cleaning up the glue. Okay, I think that's, no, 2 more things here I've got. These are little clamps. These are extra handy for putting your boxes together. Now, why don't I make my own boxes? For this reason, right here. I've got a dado set. My table saw is not really working real well right now. It's got old, like me. So, I buy these just like this. It saves a lot of labor putting the thing together so that you can do it in It's alright if you're going to do a whole bunch of them. Same thing with the frames. It's cheaper for me to just buy them put together. It's about the same price actually. You can put them together yourself if you buy the frame. You can make the frame, but you're going to have a lot of work to do there. And it's quite a learning curve. I've been doing woodworking for most of my life. So you might want to take that with a grain of salt. Maybe not. First thing I do is put some glue on it. And there's a good reason to have the hammer. Probably should have a screwdriver too so I can clean this out. Let's see if I got any glue in here. I know I got glue, but will it come out? Let's see if we can't pull that up a little bit. See, that hammer does come in handy. We got that old glue off of there. And first thing I'll do is glue up one of these. There it comes. One of the things you have to be careful about when you put this together is you put the handle on the outside. I put more than one together. Ooh, that a drip of water. Put more than one together. Hope it doesn't rain. Without having the handle on the right side. It's easy enough to do. Oh, maybe I need to leave this upside down or something. Glue just doesn't want to come out. It's a little slow. I'm going to lay that down, kind of upside down. So just use your fingers. That's what I use. You got all that one glued up. Now I need one more here. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to need them all glued. Let's just put the glue on all of them. We'll be all set there. As I said, this is a deep box that I'm putting together. There's a medium box that's usually for a honey super, but a lot of people use them for brood boxes because they're lighter. So you have a one deep, single medium for a brood box. Get her all glued up. I'm thinking I'm doing this wrong. Usually I'll only do a couple and put them together, but you know what? This will probably work fine. We're putting screws in this anyway, so you could probably put it together without gluing it. If you hear a little noise in the background, that's Charlie. He's in my shed there trying to see what he can find, what he can chew up. Alright, got that about glued up. Not quite done yet. That happens. Something's wrong here. See? I'm trying to put the wrong side in. Alright. We're going to get this in a minute. Every time I do this, I have to learn over how to do it. So that's one reason I want to make a video. So, now, if I get one of these clamps put across here, that's going to help a lot. Just scratch that out there, put it here. Now I'm going to have to put it up towards the top because otherwise it'll fall apart. So my handles are on the outside. No, one of them isn't. Look at that. I'm doing this all backwards. But that's the purpose of this video, to show you the mistakes I can make, and maybe you won't have to. Where's my hammer? There we go. I'll get my other clamp on here. Try that one more time. So, at this point, I'm all set there. Get my screws out. Where'd that little silver thing go? Here it is. Gold thing or whatever. I have to get my knife out to chop that open. So, if you're not experienced at this, it's like I'm experienced at woodworking, but each time I do something like this, it's a little bit new because I haven't done it a little while. But if you're not experienced, then you can see the kind of little issues you run into. And all right, now we'll get a screw in it. That'll help. Now, when my father was a carpenter, and back in his day, they had to do everything by hand. They didn't have power drills. And they didn't have power saws. Well, they had them, but they couldn't afford them, so they had to use a hand saw. And that's just the way things were. So, I got a couple screws in there. Now, I'm going to turn this over. Gonna knock my bucket of water off here if not careful. I know this is a long video. That's the way it is in beekeeping. There's things that take a long time to do, especially if you're not used to doing them every day. Especially if you put things on backwards. Well, I'm going to put this on here anyway. Look at that. Demonstrate a mistake right off the bat. Richard. Where's my mistake? Well, I got this now close enough I can take this clamp off and I'll show you. That handle's on the inside instead of the outside. That's how easy it is to do. So you got to watch these things. So what I need to do is take that screw back out again that I put in because I forgot. I still need to make this change. See, it looks like it should just go right together, right? Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to get her done. Charlie, are you chewing up my frames? You've got an old honey frame. Well, just the frame, not the other part, not the foundation. Charlie likes to eat just about anything. So let's see, we'll get this one in here. Then this one in here. Tell me in the comments now, do you want me to speed this up next time? Should I speed the video up and just go through this real quick? Or should I take my time and show you all the mistakes I make? Oh, what? Richard, you make mistakes? Absolutely. Like yesterday, when I went out in the bee yard without my veil and stood in front of hive that had been robbing and got stung. One of the things I haven't done here that I should do right away when I start is make sure it's square. Look at that. Perfect. That's the advantage of buying a box that's already pre-cut. If you did this by hand, it'd take you forever to get that dado. It's a much stronger box than the other types of joints. It'll last for years and years. And so that's why we do it this way. Now I've got the handles on the right side, so I'll go ahead and put these screws in here, and you can do this once you get a couple of them in the right place. Then you're good. You can just go ahead and make screws in. So I'm going to put, let's see, I think I better put the top one down first. I don't need that there anymore. We know it's square, right? That one's there. Look. You gotta be careful. You don't go too far. If you go too far, you'll split your wood. And that's particularly true on the last one here. There's a little, this dado right here is narrow, so this can easily split. In fact, I've had to go back and glue them on, so I don't put the head quite as far down in this one on the corner. Just barely. So it's almost smooth. Look at that. It's looking good. That brought it right down. Good and square. Now I can just put the rest of the screws in here and just zip them on in. Are you chewing that thing up, Charlie? What are you doing? Charlie's my security blanket. Yeah, I didn't want a dog, but my son thought I needed one, so he bought one for me. And I have to admit, it helped with some of my mental issues. I better hurry because I'm about running out of power with this old drill. So, that's one end. I'm going to take this one out here, to make sure everything's lined up here. I've got to get these other screws in before the glue goes up. Actually, I don't have to. I can put this clamp on here and just leave it, and it'll be good. I'll need 2 clamps to do that. Now there's a screw in that already, so that's good. See if I can get one at the top here. Now, I want to put a clamp on it. See if I can get one more screw in this thing. Pull it down. There we go. Now, I will need to go charge my battery. But basically, that's done. Maybe one more screw. I see a little space there. I guess I'm going to have to buy some new batteries or a new drill motor. I'll get as many as I can in. So there you have it. It's too bad I ran out of battery. I thought that thing was charged up, but the batteries are getting old, and like me, sometimes we don't work so well. But all in all, we've got a square box. So, since my battery ran out, I'll let it charge. I'm just going to say, one thing that rag was for was any excess glue that might have got on your outside of your box, or the inside of your box can be easily wiped off. It's not important, but to me, I kind of like to do that. I'll come back later and put the rest of those screws in when my battery's charged. Now that I've got my hive body together, I'm going to show you how a hive goes together. Basically, this is the bottom board, 3/4 of an inch across here for an opening. So when you put your hive body on, the bees have 3/4 of an inch to walk across. Now you can reverse that, and it's only 3/8 of an inch, which is bee space. Just enough room for a bee to walk through. So the bottom board costs $22.76. This one did anyway. I just bought it. It's made of cypress. We'll use a 3/4 inch size. Then you put your hive body or brood chamber or deep super, all three of those names work, on top of the bottom board. They now have entranceway where they can come out and go as they like. You can put a 3/4 inch square stick in here that will have an opening 3/8 of an inch if you want to close it down so not so many bees can get in and out in cases there might be opportunity for robbers, bee robbers, honey hive robbers that come from other hives. I had that issue just the other day. If you look closely, you can see that the bees are kind of trying to get in here yet. They were robbing this morning after I inspected, but I reduced the size down to about a 1/4 inch, just big enough for a bee. That bee just flew in my mouth. Oh well. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. They're kind of flying around my head. Anyway, I reduced the size down to stop the robbing, and I'm leaving while I can. Yeah, I got stung that day. This is a foundation frame. It's made for the bees to start their comb with. It gives them a head start. Made out of plastic and wood. You get 10 of these to go in a 10 frame hive. You can also get an 8 frame hive, which is a little lighter pickup. So I like the 10 frame because I can put a feeder inside if I need to. There are frame feeders that will fit the same size as 1 or 2 frames. So you can reduce the number of foundation frames in there and put your feeder in. That's for feeding sugar syrup, which is what the bees need when there's not a flow going on of honey flow or a pollen flow, whichever. Here we have the inner cover. Most new beekeepers start with the inner cover hive because the inner cover allows for ventilation inside the hive and it's easier to maintain. There are migratory covers that are just basically a flat board. There are disadvantages to those as well as advantages. We'll get into that another day. On top of this will go your telescoping cover. One of the disadvantages of this is it costs about $40 more for that telescoping cover, and the inner cover costs about $19 or $20. So you can buy a migratory cover for about $22. So that's a major amount of money for me. As I said earlier, I'm going to paint these hives, and I just wanted to come back and say one more thing about that. I'm not going to get into showing you how to use paintbrush or paint roller today, but I will say that you probably want to use a good quality semi-gloss paint, 2 coats, to make your hives last. Now, a lot of people buy oops paint, and that's why some of my beehives are red, some of them are blue, and I just got tired of looking at that, so I'm going to all white. I'll pay the extra few bucks. My hives are all going to be white. They're all going to have semi-gloss paint, and they'll have 2 coats. That's where we're going with this. One more thing. I'm not sponsored by anybody but myself. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you will subscribe. It helps me come back and do it some more. It's kind of fun doing YouTube. See you later.